Joanna, spelled with just 3 letters, Jan.
Yeah.
And does the name have any specific meaning?
Well, it's kind of a long story. I'll try and make it brief.
Okay.
There's this bartender that I really like who works at this bar in Los Angeles, and she's kind of disturbed.
Okay.
But I was just fascinated by her, and I decided to name my band after her.
Mm-hmm. So you recently moved from LA to New York?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And why did you do that?
I wanted to get away from my boyfriend.
Okay, so some distance. Uh-huh. And
you know, I wanted to have a change in my life, and I wanted to be like in a different creative environment.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, how would you say LA and New York differ?
Oh, in every way.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's really that different.
I mean, the environment, the climate, people are just really different. People approach life differently on the West Coast versus the East Coast, especially LA versus New York. People in New York are faster and more aggressive.
Oh, really?
People in LA are a lot more laid back.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I started to become bored with that.
With being laid back?
Yeah. Like I wanted more of a challenge.
Okay, so it already influences you in your way of doing things.
Yeah, I've become a worse person since I moved to New York.
Which is not bad for musical expression,
mm-hmm.
I would say. So, would you say that Joanna is a solo project?
It's hard to say. I think it's going to be the kind of thing that's constantly changing, and the only thing that stays still is myself in the project. Right now I'm playing with Chloe from Smoosh and Melinda for Pillows and Homer Superstar and Andrew from Traps PS.
Mm-hmm.
They're touring with me, and they're amazing, and I'd like to keep them in my band for as long as possible, but I think like the nature of playing in a band these days is more that it's a constantly changing thing.
Mm.
And it's hard to keep people because everybody's doing their own thing. So that's, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's a solo project. I mean, I wrote the music, so I guess on in that way it is.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, it's flowing, so it might change in the future too.
Right. I never want to play alone. Like I never want to be like a female singer-songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
In that traditional sense.
Right. So I read a couple of times that you are musically strongly influenced by the Riot Girl movement. Do you see yourself in that line of musicians? I
don't know. I mean, it certainly wasn't a conscious thing. I think I've just fallen into that. I mean, I think in terms of genre, it makes sense that they would say that I'm in that category.
Mm-hmm. Do you also want to express some kind of political statement with your role as being an artist?
I think only from the feminist perspective. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's a feminist-minded project, and that's really important to me, to do everything in a feminist-minded way, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Before playing in Joanna, you have been playing in a duo called Eagle and Talon.
Mm-hmm.
When I listen to your new stuff, I noticed that it's become a little bit less experimental. Was that development a conscious decision?
That's probably just a result of the fact that this is my first time not producing my own music. Mm-hmm. So the first 3 Eagle and Talon records I co-produce with my partner Alice. And for Jen, I work with John Goodmanson, who produced Letterkenny and Blonde Redhead and a bunch of other bands. And so it's definitely like a cross between our sounds. He did let me experiment in the studio, but left to my own devices, the record would probably be a lot weirder.
Okay, that's the reason why. So, John Goodmanson is a really renowned producer. How did that collaboration happen?
I kind of put together my wish list of producers that I wanted to work with, and I was actually supposed to make this record with Steve Albini.
Okay.
And then I got scared. And I just thought in the end, at the very last minute, that John Goodmanson would be a better fit for me, and I just got in touch with him and sent him some demos, and he liked them, and we started talking about the demos and this and that, and having long conversations on the phone, and I don't know, it just kind of was very natural. And we went to Seattle to record.
I also think that it's really fitting for the style of music.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, considering the popularity of such hyped genres like chillwave or twee-fi, maybe, would you think of changing your style to become more up-to-date?
I don't think of music in those terms. Like, I think that all art is cyclical, and, you know, personally, I really crave hearing natural instruments and stuff that isn't overproduced, and you know, I don't really want to like listen to dance music when I'm going to bed and stuff like that. So I think that there's definitely a craving for kind of rock and roll, if you will, just because there seems to be a gap in the market for that right now. I'm not doing it on purpose. It's just like, I wish that there were more bands making music that was a little bit more organic, I guess.
So you have a new album ready that is coming out in mid-November. We were talking, so when and how did you write the songs for the album?
When and how? Oh, I wrote them in Los Angeles, and I wrote them over the course of a year. It was after Eagle and Talon put out In Manila, our last EP, and I don't know, our band was kind of falling apart relationship-wise, and I don't know, I just started writing, and I thought that they were going to end up being Eagle and Talon songs, and then by the time I finished writing the album, I realized they were just going to be for something completely new, and that the songs were different themselves. So, yeah, I wrote them in my house in LA, in Silver Lake.
Okay. I read in an earlier interview that you spent a lot of time with some albums in Eagle and Talon. Was this new album a short or long-term affair?
Short. Like,
yeah?
I would say I wrote the songs really fast, and we tracked the record in 9 days.
That's fast.
Yeah, it was nice. When you have a producer telling you what to do, there's like a different sense of time.
I noticed a lot of strings on the recordings. But there's no violinist in the band, or?
There is a viola player on 2 or 3 of the tracks named Daphne Chen. She's a close friend of mine. She plays in section quartet and plays with a lot of people in LA, and she's amazing, and she played viola. And I wish she was on tour with us, but I can't bring everybody.
Yeah. And there are flutes as well.
Recorder.
A recorder, okay.
Yeah.
Which I found quite charming. How did it come? So, how did the idea to include that into the song happen?
I just always loved recorder, and I don't know, it just needed recorder. And John Goodmanson was like giving me the no, like, no way, I'm not letting you play recorder, look. And I was like, just let me try like a few passes, and he let me do it, and he ended up liking it, I think. So.
Yeah, I like it.
You do? Okay,
yeah.
Good.
Are you working with any labels for the album release?
Yeah, I'm working with Ingo at the Company with the Golden Arm here in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
He's putting out the record here. And then I think we're doing a vinyl release in the new year with Gunner Records, I think.
Gunner.
Gunner? Gunner? Excuse my pronunciation. And then I'm doing a release in the UK and the US with a label called Enclaves.
Mm-hmm. It's your second European tour, if you count the one from Eagle and Talon.
Yeah.
I think. So, how do you like touring?
I love touring. I wish that this was my life every day of the year. Yeah.
Are you traveling alone?
Well, no, I have my tour manager, and I'm traveling with a guitar player, a bass player, and a drummer. And it's really fun. I love touring in Europe, especially Germany.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What's so good about Germany?
Well, first of all, they're very vegan friendly here, which I really like. And the people are really nice. And it's just seems very calm here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the countryside, like when you're driving from city to city, it's just beautiful.
Okay. So what can people expect tonight at the concert?
Oh, well, wow. Well, we're going to be playing live instruments. There aren't going to be any computers on stage. And they could expect to see 3 Americans and a Canadian trying to have fun. Is that a good description of what may... They'll just have to come and see for themselves.
Check it out yourself, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So I hope to see a lot of people tonight at the show, and yeah, looking forward to it.
Me too. See you guys tonight. Thank you.